Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado. And this is my buddy Puccini. And he helps me in the craft room, and we have paper pumpkin alternatives for you. The kits were very late in getting to everyone. They had some trouble with the shipping and the ink spots. Let's just get started. Okay, this paper pumpkin is called Kisses and Hugs January 2022. And in this kit, this is set up to make, let's see, how many cards is it supposed to make? It is set up to make 10 cards. And then it's Blushing Bride, Flirty Flamingo, Gold, Gray Granite, and Very Vanilla and White. And so I came up with a series of cards, and because it's so close to Valentine, and if you were planning to use this kit to create some Valentine's cards, well, I concentrated on that for this, but each of these cards could easily be birthday or thank you and so on. And I did make 5 cards, and these are the cards that they suggest you make. These are the card bases, and they go together like this. I was trying to fold mine in and over, but they really fold mountain, valley, mountain, valley. So, and they can go either direction. And that is the way these cards are meant to make up. And they make, it says 10, but they're showing 5 of these each. And this is one of the card bases in vanilla and gold. This is a second of the card bases in Blushing Bride and gold. You get these iridescent pinky kind of sequins in your kit, and you get a Stampin' Spot that is gray granite. And if you want, you can get the coordinating box and heart kit, and they make up these little treat boxes, and then it's got some gold twine and some little hearts and that are punched so you can put the twine through them, and it's got a scannable QR code to order them. And then coming up in February, the paper pumpkin is going to be safari oriented, but this little treat box thing is available. All right, this is the stamp set that came with this time. And let's see, if I put this on here, I think we can see it. It's got a dot splatter, a big X and O. It's got 2 hearts, a solid one and an outline. It's got a little arrow, and it's got a heart with a arrow through it. And then the sentiments are love you, for you, friend, and then sending you love and more. So that is the stamp set that comes, and of course you get your glue dots and your dimensionals that come with your kit, of course. The envelopes this time are in Flirty Flamingo, and then look at this beautiful inside to this envelope. Well, you know me, I chopped up the envelope and used the pieces. You got, I think it was 4 or 5 of these little hearts, the Flirty Flamingo hearts, in this little square with the stripes. You got a handful of vellum hearts. You got several pages of this, which is the Blushing Bride and Flirty Flamingo hearts, and these nest. So this one, it fits inside this one, and then also this gray granite arrow. And then you got pages and pages of these white hearts with gold trim. And I think that is it. All right, so that's what comes in your kit. And let me show you what I did with mine. The envelopes are Flirty Flamingo. When I wanted a Flirty Flamingo background, I just cut it out of an envelope. And you've got 10 envelopes, and you can always put these in a white envelope if you want. And then I used some Blushing Bride cardstock And I think that is all I used that wasn't in the kit, with the exception of I did use this. We have 2 heart punches right now, and a plain heart and then a scalloped one. And this is the heart that it punches out if you punch it out of the envelope piece here. And if you're careful, you can get quite a few out of here. And then on the other side is this pretty gold pattern. So I did use this punch quite a bit just to get some smaller hearts to fool with here. Let me show you. Oh, and I did use, I guess, some dies. I want to grab a card base here so I can show you that this heart is just a little too big to fit on a standard size card base. And what I always do with the kit is I make full-sized cards out of the kit. I never make what they suggest. If you want to do that, you can follow the instructions. It's a darling kit. I mean, this stuff is just wonderful. But this heart is just a little too big to fit on the front of this card. It still fits in the envelope just fine. And again, it is done like this. So like that, or this way. And so you can have this be the front of your card, or you can have this be the front of your card. All right, so on this one, what I did was I cut a panel of Blushing Bride that was 4 by 5 1/4, and then I used my largest stitched rectangle die and cut out a tiny little frame. Then I placed that on the front of the card and placed my heart. Well, I put my heart in the frame and then trimmed off the edges so that it fits inside the frame here. Then I used the vellum heart and then one of these that I punched using my punch to get the gold and the vanilla. And I did this one on Very Vanilla. And then I stamped Love You on a piece of Very Vanilla and just fussy cut it out a little bit. And then I used some of our gold pearls on this. And on the inside, I just took some of that XOXO from the inside of the envelope and backed it in a little bit of the Blushing Bride so that I got just a little decoration. This is a place you could easily put or stamp a heart or two to add to the decorations for that one. But that is my card number 1. The next one that I made is this. And in this one, I used the gray granite ink, and I put my Sending Love. Now this one I did on, I put my Sending Love in the middle of the heart. This one I did on a Very Vanilla background, but these hearts are white. So I made this one on a white base and decided that that was matched the heart a little bit better. I did one where I combined them, but only once. And I just made banners out of the inside of one of those envelopes and a piece of Blushing Bride. And let's see, this first large flirty banner is right at 5 inches long, and then just snip up and make my banner. The pink one is, let's see if I can tell. Pink one is about 4 1/4, and then this long one here, even though the XO's going the opposite direction, is a little over 5 inches. Just wanted to add a little extra. I used their splatter stamp on here and some of the gold pearls. Now on the inside on this one, I cut a larger piece of flirty and or pink of the Blushing Bride, and then added the XO and the pink, so I have all 3 colors represented on the inside of the card. So that is my card number 2. Then I made this one, and what I did was I took my punch, and if you're careful where you do it, you can punch out of this material or this material, and you could see where you could do one heart out of this, this one, which is the inside of the envelope, and one out of this, and you could make several of those without too much trouble. And then I took the heart from this one, and I just sliced it in the places that I thought I could get the longest strips, so that I had a couple of strips to put on my card, because, well, I'll show you what I did with the other one. And then use their sequins to add to that one. And then on the inside of this one, what I did was I took that heart from here and I cut it off at a bit of an angle. And if you cut it off at a bit of an angle, then you end up getting a much smaller heart. Now, where did I get this piece? Well, once I punched out from here my two hearts, I was careful to punch out more in the middle and on one end so that I could mount this polka dotted one on the edge of where I'd cut those out. You don't see any of that, and made this heart to go, or half a heart to go, on the inside of the card with a pink Blushing Bride layering piece there. Then I did make one that was kind of like theirs, and I used the XOXO as the front. I cut this piece off and I put it on the inside of the card. So I cut that one off, which is the polka dot. So this is what it looks like when it's all done. I cut this one off and just rounded that edge, and I cut this one off and kind of rounded that edge, and I made that the front, this the back, and took this piece off and put it on the inside. Then I used the negative space. Never throw these away. This was how my hearts came, and all I did was lay this down on some of that envelope paper and trace that heart, and then fussy cut it out. So I had a nice big heart with that XO pattern, and on the gold polka dot, which I thought looked pretty nice, and then the Blushing Bride center. So you can either write your message here, you can write a message here. And that is most like the kit card. And so that was my card number 4. And then this one was my card number 5. And what I did was that same thing. I cut the hearts off at a bit of an, what I did was I put the two hearts that I was going to match the ends. Like if it was this one, I would take these apart and I would put these two together and cut that right down the center. Then I moved it over 1/4 of an inch, and I took off 1/4 of an inch on either side, and then put those hearts back together, and magically that makes them fit on the front of my card base. Then I took this piece and I just cut out an XO piece here and put it sideways, put some gold pearls on that, and if you're cutting this in tandem, you'll get it to match up perfectly. And on the inside, I did that same thing where I just took part of the heart and another piece of that XO that I took off of here and put that on the inside. So that is my 5 cards for this paper pumpkin alternative. And I'm really tickled with the way they came out. I don't know, it's between these two, which I think are my favorites. And I think I like both of them. But I kind of have a tendency, I like this one a little bit. And I made this layering piece in very vanilla instead of 4 3/4 by 5. I made it 4 1/2 by 4 3/4. So made the inside piece a little smaller. So there are my alternatives. And that is my project for today. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, well, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Or you could join my team. We have a great offer going on right now to join my team. It is $125 for or $125 worth of product for $99, which is the normal join deal. And then in January and February, so we've got the rest of February, you can pick an additional 2 stamp sets. And so it's a pretty good deal because it means your starter kit is worth $170, $180 for $99, which is a pretty good deal. So that's the deal that's being offered. My prize for the month of February is $60 shopping spree on me with Stampin' Up! And you can get yourself in the drawing by putting an order of any size on my store, lbedinger.stampinup.net, and or you can get to my blog, www.ingenuity.com. And so that is it for me, and I will be back soon with more cards, more projects, and more tips. Bye!